So about a month and a half ago, it seemed that after the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef, that Drake was ready to move on. Okay, he had bought a ranch in Houston. He posted himself on social media, relaxing at the ranch, a picture of a beautiful sky. Seemed like he was ready to revitalize his career and get over the loss. He had released some records. They were a little bit trolly. He had done some collabs that were a little bit questionable. But at the same time, it seemed like Drake was ready to move on from the battle and the loss to Kendrick Lamar while Kendrick was on his victory lap, so to speak. But if we paid attention from the beginning, from the first diss record Drake released, Drop and Give Him 50, his inspiration for that record, and behind the scenes, the inspiration for the approach he was going to take to this battle and any other problems he has with artists in the industry, being this man, 50 Cent. We should have known that this situation will not be ending anytime soon, and the saga continues. Let's get into it. So recent events have at least explained to me why Drake is so dogmatic in not surrendering or graciously accepting defeat in his battle with Kendrick Lamar this summer, 2024. And it was right in front of our face the whole time, especially when Rick Ross decided to enter the battle. Okay, the first song, Drop and Give Him 50, was an ode to 50 Cent and his time in having to battle many MCs, as Drake had to do as well. Now, at the beginning of the battle, I said that that's the only mistake I think the side opposing Drake is making, is that it appears that they're jumping him. And at the end, everybody did kind of back away except for Rick Ross, which allows 50 Cent to hang around and make sure that at least Rick Ross is destroyed. Now, some people have tried to pit 50 against Kendrick Lamar. I don't think 50 and Kendrick Lamar have any issues other than maybe 50 helping Drake, but they have business together. We'll get into that in the next video. But continuing on with Drake and all of these tactics he is using to troll Kendrick Lamar and troll everyone who he seems is, or he deems is against him. He seems to be trolling the West Coast and Kendrick's camp every chance he gets. Now let's get into it. But before we do, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to hit that like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that red subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you're notified of all future uploads. I appreciate you. So let's continue with Drake and the shenanigans he's using to troll Kendrick and the West. All of the Tupac stuff. Now, this to me is playing with fire. I don't understand why he's doing it now. One theory I do have is that when Drake did the tailor-made freestyle, somebody might have told him that he had permission to do that and then pulled it back. Okay, all's fair in love and war. That wouldn't be something that would be uncommon in the record industry. He's, of course, been accused of doing it with certain verses and collabs that he's done with artists. So if they made him think he could use it, then they pulled it back as the battle continued. As we see here, Tupac's estate tells him he can't use it. So he responds by doing what? He buys a BMW, similar. Now, it's not as similar. People try to say it's not close to being the same BMW, but it's a similar model, same year. It's a 2-door instead of a 4-door, as this BMW, of course. Tupac's last ride was in this BMW. He then posts a picture on IG with this money green Tupac shirt on with the green shoes. Of course, Kendrick during the Euphoria verse mentioned Drake's ownership of one of Tupac's rings. He also mentioned it during the Pop Out concert when he kind of reworded the lyrics. So that tells Drake that it's a sore spot for Kendrick. So he's going to now keep picking at it in these different kind of little trolling ways. And he has a back door. He can say, look, I just appreciate Tupac just like anybody else. And I'm a big fan of Tupac, so I'm buying his memorabilia, as he has done with many other people that he has problems with. Kanye West, Pharrell, he's bought their memorabilia. The list goes on. This is how Drake gets down. This guy is a master troll, much like the person he's taking his advice from or is partnering with. I'm not gonna say 50 is involved in this in any way because I don't know that, but he's taken the lead from what 50 Cent has done in the past in trolling his enemies maliciously and for forever, it seems like. Now, let's get to the concert issue with Schoolboy Q. He was scheduled to perform in Toronto, and he says that the police shut his concert down as they did not want anyone from TDE performing in Toronto. Now, this is explainable because of the Rick Ross situation when he was in Vancouver. A fight broke out, so it's a safety issue, yes, but Drake being a part owner of the venue that Schoolboy Q was slated to perform at does make it seem as though Drake may have had something to do with Q's performance being canceled. Now, on Twitter, some of the OVO Twitter representatives, I don't know if they're real OVO people or not, I'm not going to get into all that. They were having a back and forth with Schoolboy Q, with Punch from TDE, which none of that was really productive. There was some tough talk going on. As you can see on the screen here, Schoolboy Q did keep it moving, sloughed it off and said, you know, it's funny, y'all trying to be tough, but let's not be too tough so no one gets hurt, and let's just keep it moving. I'll take the loss and move on to the next show. You know, he emphasized, I'm a soccer dad now, right? But the trolling from Drake and company doesn't stop there. First, Drake posts this IG post with the blue shoes. Of course, we know Schoolboy Q's album, Blue Lips. He wears blue shoes. Of course, he's Hoover, so they wear blue shoes, they wear blue, right? So Drake makes sure to put his feet out in this image with the blue shoes on, with the Free Yayo shirt on. Again, keeping the 50 Cent energy going, right? The reference is going, he's keeping that going. And then he posts, or his clothing brand, October's Very Own, posts these OVO LA hats, right? Very much in the style. Now, of course, Kendrick and PG Lang have their own version of LA hats that Kendrick has worn many times. And again, this is Drake trolling some more. So now you're gonna have OVO fans wearing their version of the LA hats. And one thing I said early in the battle is that the other people who are dissing and kind of sneak dissing and jumping in the battle, they have to be careful because they're not Kendrick Lamar. And so we enter Soulja Boy. Now, Soulja Boy made a post about being disappointed in Drake on Twitter, X. And what, 2-3 days later, Drake and Lil Yachty released a collab of the song Super Soak. And the lyrics go a little something like this. I'm watching the moves, I'm playing it close. SOD, which is the name of Soulja Boy's, I think, label. And of course, he has a hit record called Super Soak. Now, this is where things get tricky because they're stopping concerts in Canada, right? And the Rick Ross fight can be a legitimate reason for them to do that. As far as people who have issues with Drake and fans who have issues with people who have issues with Drake, and that being a safety issue and it causing problems. Drake is using his money. Go back to the green Tupac shirt with the green shoes. He's now using business tactics to harm the people who have something to say and to battle now kind of off wax, so to speak, right? So it's not just records anymore. He's slowing down people's money. Now, as far as Kendrick and TDE, I'm sure they will be fine. However, some of these ancillary acts who are not as popular, who don't have as big a fan base, they might want to think about being quiet. Now, this is the same thing 50 Cent did with a lot of people who attached themselves to Ja Rule, so on and so forth with the record companies. He was stopping records. He was threatening to stop records. There was a lot of radio incidents. You can go on YouTube and search all that. I'm not going to put all that in this video. But these are some of the same tactics that 50 started to use, right? He made his records too, Piggy Bank, etc. But off wax, he started stopping people's business and interrupting their business. And that leads me to the question, And what this picture, the caption in this picture states, what do Drake and 50 have cooked up? And that's gonna lead to my next video where I discuss what they may have cooked up and why this union was even formed in the first place, as far as Drake and 50 Cent, and maybe 50 helping Drake out a little bit now as far as his strategy moving forward in dealing with all his beefs in hip hop. So definitely check out that video after it's uploaded. Also check out this video where I say what went wrong, what Drake did wrong in the battle and how he lost the battle and ended up in this position in the first place. Thank you for watching Professor X Beats Music Explained as always, and we out.